Hello, 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 and welcome to Get It Off Your Chest, the funny side of breast cancer podcast. I'm in Tissy Towers, and my name is Estelle Ma, and I'm joined by Twinkle Tits, also known as
Andrea Moulding. So how are you, Estelle?
I'm very well, actually. Yeah, starting to feel a bit of a change in the weather. Feel like it's getting a bit warmer. Normally an indication when your thermostat goes off and the heating goes off, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
God, just me.
Well, I've been in the garden, gardening like a lunatic. When I say gardening, more like cleaning up.
And you're still finding tins of beans from your COVID days because you're still finding them for God knows how long, weren't you?
No, I haven't found any disinfected bean tins, but well, that's because there's so much crap and overgrowth in the garden. So yeah, I'm sure I'll find a kind of.
Once you get the lawnmower out, you'll have enough contents to fill the Christmas hamper. Like tin of Rover biscuits and all that.
I'll never need to shop again, Estelle.
I know, yeah. All I need is a shovel.
Do you remember that during COVID? I was so what's the word?
Paranoid.
Paranoid is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I just bleached everything.
Yeah,
Everything.
I had a friend who was like that, just bleaching everything. But I didn't go out. I didn't do anything, so everybody did everything for me, to be perfect.
Well, I had my own volunteer because I was in the decrepit list. I had a volunteer who used to come around to do my shopping for me.
Why couldn't bloody Paddy do it for you?
Don't know, but you know,
gentlemen, she's shaking her head.
I think the woman really liked it because I didn't have a Tesco card, so I think she just put my whole shop on her Tesco card, so it was win-win.
Saved up all your points and got herself 40 cases of champagne, probably.
Yes, exactly. She probably did, yeah. No, so I'm pretty knackered at the moment. What with gardening and swimming, I think I've overdone it. So I think I'm going to have to have a couple of days off and sit in a jacuzzi, that sort of thing. I'm a little bit funny about jacuzzis, actually, because I'm not sure if I'm allowed to go in them, having had
I wouldn't go in one anyway, honestly.
Yeah. Well, that dead skin.
And hot tubs, what's all that about? I think I might have said on a previous show, hot tubs are rank. It's basically having a bath with your mates. And just because it's outside, people think it's acceptable. It's not. It's not. If I said to you, come down to us, Andrea, come and get in the bath with me, you would think I was odd, wouldn't you? But
I think you're odd anyway, Estelle, but that would seal it.
Come on, me and you'll sit in the bath and we'll chat shit. And it'll be really nice because we'll have a bottle of fizz. You'd think it was weird.
Actually, you're selling it to me.
Honestly, if they got that bath and dragged it outside and put it on the driveway, then all of a sudden it's acceptable. No, sod off the rank, the dirty. What is it? My mate calls them hoop soup. Which just isn't on. I'm not even great in swimming pools, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. No.
I seem to be the only person who showers because I'm Mrs. Compliant. There's a sign that says shower before you get in the pool. I'm like, okay, but shower. Yeah. No one else does.
Exactly. That's why I don't get in the swimming pool, because they're bloody rank, all these dirty people in it.
Well, I haven't got any verrucas yet, but
is that a sign of a seasoned swimmer?
Yes.
40 facilities. So on today's show, we've got somebody flying in all the way from Seattle. Her name is Eva Moon, and we can hear her plane landing now. And here she is coming to the studio.
Hi.
Eva. Welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Where are you?
I'm in Redmond, Washington, near Seattle.
Do you want to start, Eva, by just telling us a little bit about your cancer journey?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to make sure that you and your listeners understand that I didn't have cancer. I have the BRCA1 genetic mutation that gives like an 87% chance of breast cancer and a 55% chance of ovarian cancer. Angelina Jolie had the same mutation. And I was very fortunate to find out that I had this mutation before I had cancer. So I was able to make the decision to have preventive surgeries. That's not to say it was easy or fun or, a walk in the park or anything, but it was just
Mm.
surgery and not surgery and chemo and radiation and,
Mm. So what
all those other
made
things.
you go, what made you start the journey? Was there a history in your family? What made you go there?
Yeah, there is a history. Well, we didn't know there was a history of the mutation, but there was certainly a history of cancer in my family. My grandmother died of ovarian cancer, and my mother had cancer twice. And the second time she developed cancer, the doctor looked at her family history and said, "Hey, we need to test you for BRCA." And they tested her, and she tested positive. So immediately my two sisters and I went and got ourselves tested. And my two sisters both tested negative, which I'm
And you
very
got
thankful for.
positive.
And so I was a lucky one.
Yeah.
I in a way I was the best one of the three of us to have the mutation because I love attention.
Yeah, that's what I was saying to my friend at the moment who's in America. I was saying, play that cancer card. Remember, you are the centre of attention now, so
That's right. It's all about
play
me.
Of course it is. Even though there's less of you, it means that it's more about you.
That's
exactly,
right.
exactly. So you then went on, and was it called the Mutant Diaries that you wrote after
Yes,
that?
I wrote after all my surgeries and losing my mother and all of and recovery and everything. I wrote a one-woman musical comedy called The Mutant Diaries: Unzipping My Jeans, and it's
Excellent.
got 9 original songs in it. The one of the first ones I wrote was a song called "Tata Tatas," and I could send you an MP3 of that if you didn't find it
Well,
on
I
YouTube.
watched one actually on YouTube. What was it called?
Okay.
It's a parody of the kind of Gilbert and
Oh
Sullivan,
yeah.
Modern Major General. It's about all
Yeah.
the kind of desperate abbreviations and terminology.
I learned there was a chance I was BRCA1 positive. My family had a history suggesting it was causative. They told me my mutation was completely deleterious. I hadn't heard the term, but I assumed that it was serious. After confirmation from a counselor genetical, the things I found alarming then were mostly alphabetical. BRCA was just the start of major aggravations. Who knew there would be 16 million more abbreviations? I dove into the learning curve just like a kamikaze, because that's what happens when you're from a family Ashkenazi. I flew up to a conference and I talked to the exhibitors, and now I need to find out what the hell are PARP inhibitors.
It's really good because I'm always banging on about how they don't speak in English to you, when you go there. I love that one. It was really funny. I said, you're a talented lady. You play all of the musical instruments and everything, can't you? Fantastic.
Well, no, I play piano and ukulele. Those are my
only
my only. Anyway, I did the show a bunch. I did it across the U.S. We videoed my LA performance of it. It's streaming on Amazon Video on Demand.
Yeah,
cool.
And I've done it twice in England. I did it once as a fundraiser for Macmillan Cancer Research.
Do you have any do you have to go for testing or anything now with the BRCA gene?
No, not for the, my breasts are gone, and my ovaries and my uterus and fallopian tubes I'm grateful they let me keep my vagina. But that's about all that's left.
Yeah. It does come in handy every now and again.
Every now and then.
Yeah. How important was humor to you during your journey?
It was huge. And in fact, I've spoken at conferences on using humor to cope with stress. And while I was recovering, I was chatting with my London friend online, and I just, on the spur of the moment, I wrote a limerick, this funny poem about how I was trying to recover from this abdominal surgery and my cat wanted to walk on my stomach. And then he wrote one back, and then I wrote another one, and so we got silly, and I just felt so much lighter,
Mm.
things still hurt, but it made it easier. So I went to this forum for women with the mutation, and I thought, should I post these silly limericks on, I mean, there's these women, they've got cancer, they've got little kids, they're facing mortal issues, but what the hell, I just put it out there and I said, this just made me feel lighter. And I posted like 3 limericks, and oh my God, the floodgates open. I think before we were done, there were over 300 limericks that were written by other people who
Fantastic.
and they wrote about everything. They wrote about surgery, and they wrote about their husbands, and they wrote about their kids, and they wrote about the indignities of
Yeah.
surgery and mammograms and doctors and medications and chemo. I mean, they wrote funny poems about every single aspect of their journeys, and
Fantastic.
it was so healing.
Yeah.
Because the fact is that whatever journey you're on, cancer or surgery or whatever, that journey is going to continue along its course. And if you take 5 minutes out to have a laugh,
Mhm.
it's still going to be there when you get back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Okay.
Eva, I wanted to ask you about you kind of teased us with 2 really cool stories, and I was very jealous because when I had my mastectomy, I literally found out I had cancer on Thursday and had surgery on the Monday morning. And
Wow.
when I was looking back, I always say, "Oh, I wish I'd had a boob voyage party," but you actually had one, didn't you?
I did. So I organized a boob voyage party, and I invited all my girlfriends, and they all brought, boob related snacks. Uh, someone had
Like
used
what?
used marshmallows and graham crackers to imitate a mammogram
Mammogram
with the
sheet.
little marshmallows sticking out the sides. And we danced and we drank and we sang, and I played a couple songs that I'd been writing, and then I did this thing that I'd been wanting to do for some time, and it was just like the perfect time for it. I gave all of my friends little cups of paint and paintbrushes, and I took off all my clothes, and I stood on a chair and let them paint me.
Mm.
And I thought that they would be shy or reluctant, but they weren't. Things just exploded, and they really, I got painted everywhere.
Good. Oh, this sounds brilliant.
I can send
That's
you a
fantastic.
picture. Um,
Yes.
they painted me, I mean, head to toe,
Yeah.
and like flowers and vines and words
Oh,
and hearts.
wow.
And then one of my
Amazing.
friends, and I didn't plan this, but she just took it upon herself to bring a box of sequins. And as soon as I was covered with wet paint, she handed out the sequins, and they just stuck them everywhere into the wet paint. So, and it was just 4 days later that I had my surgery. The night before my surgery, and my husband and I are getting ready for bed, and I was getting undressed, and I pulled down my pants, and this one solitary sequin fluttered to the floor. And to this day, I have no idea where that sequin was hiding for 4 days.
I can only imagine.
I kept it for years as sort of this good luck token.
And that's proof that the doctor left you a vagina, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Oh, I love that. What was I going to say? So I take it you had a lovely community around you then with your friends, and they obviously came along for that laughing ride, because some people don't. They want to be miserable, and they feel they need to be miserable with you. But your tribe sounds like they were a good laugh.
I was kind of surprised, actually, by the amount of support, and I was very open about it. I talked about it on Facebook, when I found out that I had the mutation, and people had a lot of questions. This is a year before Angelina Jolie announced that she had it, and it became, more widely known. But I was surprised at how many people
You were overwhelmed.
I was kind of overwhelmed with kindness.
Yeah.
With
Yeah. Good.
so I have this story that I like to tell. And this is not original with me, but it connected with me
Okay.
very strongly. And that is like if you were walking down a hallway carrying a cup of coffee, and someone walked past you and bumped your arm, and you spilled your coffee.
Mm.
And I asked you, why did you spill your coffee? What would you say?
Well, somebody bumped into me.
Well, the way I look at it is that I spilled coffee because that was what was in my cup. If there'd been tea in my cup, I would have spilled tea. And I think that, we all get bumped at times in our lives, and we need to be mindful about what we're filling our cups with. And I was fortunate
Oh.
growing up to grow up in a very humorous, laughing family. We always laughed a lot. And so my cup was full of humor and laughter and that kind of response to ridiculous things that life throws at you. But I think that, we can all be conscious of what we're filling our cup with.
Yeah, that's absolutely gorgeous, Eva. Honestly, I'm getting a bit choked by that. It's absolutely, yeah, that is just, humor was just so important to both me and Andrea. And I, what's the word? Just sort it out so much that I just wouldn't allow anybody negative around me. And the way you've just described it there is, yeah, it's because I was overwhelmed with the amount of love that I felt when I announced it. I just thought one or two people would go, I did, but my house was like, honestly, they had more flowers than actually the florist in the end. It was just, I was overwhelmed by all the love and support that I received. And that is a lovely, apt way of saying it. So thank you for that. Yeah,
Sure.
I'm getting all emotional. It's supposed to be a funny podcast.
You're meant to be a hard scouser.
I know.
Pull yourself together.
You can't let that drop.
But I wanted to ask you about your other funny story that you shared with us. And I don't know how to kind of prompt you to say it without telling me.
I know which one you're talking about.
Oh, good.
So I had a reconstruction. I had a really nice reconstruction. I used they took tissue from my ass.
Yeah.
Used it to build new breasts, and the more common one is the abdominal fat.
That's what I had.
The DIEP. It was the
Yeah,
first time
I had
in my
that.
life that I wasn't fat enough for something. They had to use.
I was.
They had to use my butt, and when I mentioned this to every single one of my friends wanted to be a tissue donor. But I had enough fat for that. And so I had my reconstruction, and it came out very nice. But they're numb.
Yeah.
As you can probably attest.
Yeah.
They're just
Can't feel a thing.
nice to look at,
Yeah.
And they fill up my clothes.
Yeah.
Realization of just how numb they were hit me when I was washing my car, and I was like reaching over to clean the windshield or windscreen, as you say over there.
Yeah.
And I suddenly couldn't move. I stopped, and I'm going, why can't I reach forward? And then I looked down and realized that the windshield wiper blade was caught on my breast. And that was keeping me from moving. And I didn't know it until I looked down.
Tugging away at it.
Get away from there.
That is so brilliant. I love that.
But I bet your windscreen was nice and shiny by the time you finished, wasn't it?
It got done. But I was like, okay, well, that's going in the show.
Oh, that's amazing. Brilliant. Oh, well,
Yeah.
it's been lovely to have you on the show, Eva. Honestly, thank you for sharing all your lovely stories.
Thank you
Been-
so much for having me on your show.
No, it's an absolute pleasure, and you've been a fabulous guest.
Okay.
Thanks, Eva. Thanks a
All
lot.
right.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Right. Well, she was a pretty hilarious guest. Wasn't
Oh,
she,
I did
Estelle?
like her. I did like her. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. I loved all that stuff that she does. It's really funny. I particularly like the limericks.
Oh God, I'm so crap at limericks. I really am. I was trying to think of one while she was on the talking, and I thought, no, I'm getting distracted here. You're good with the rhyme. You've done a couple of rhymes before. Come on. Let's see if we can do-
I'm a poet, darling.
Oh,
Let me think.
she came on the retreat and was telling us about can I tell them the title of one of your books?
Yes.
Yeah. So she read out for feedback. I'm going to say it posh, and then I'm going to say it in a Scouse accent. The posh is the worm with the perm. But in my world, we normally say the worm with the perm.
The
There
worm
you
with
go.
the
The
pen.
worm with the perm. So yeah, come on, you're good with the rhyme.
Okay. Well, I don't know. There once was a woman with one tit.
Um,
That's a starting point.
oh God, there once was a woman with one tit, who fancied the arse of Brad Pitt. That's my contribution.
He
Go on.
He pushed her away until her reconstruction day.
Oh. And she said, "Sod off, you little shit." There you go. Look at that with a couple of poets.
Oh yeah, we could
couple
be
of poets
rap
and we didn't
artists.
realise.
Let's put it to music. Go to
I
Hollywood.
know, yeah. Jingle, jangle, jungle. No, so we're not. I don't think we're fighting for Pam Ayres' trophy at all, are we?
No, I don't think I'd really particularly like to fight for Pam Ayres' trophy.
Oh, I liked some of Pam Ayres' poems. I thought she was funny. Anyway, so that's really the end of today's show. We've had a lovely time talking to Eva and talking to each other, and hope you're out there. Whoever's listening, is there anybody there? Give us a shout. No, can't hear.
And also, obviously we love feedback from people. So if you want to tell us how great we are, which we're always open to, leave us a review and get in contact with us. And if you've got any funny stories, Estelle, how can our listeners get in touch?
Well, the listeners can get in touch by emailing us at stories@tittytowers.com. They can also DM us through Facebook and Instagram. Do us a favour when you finish listening to this podcast, give us a 5-star review, because that's what we're worth. We're worth it, aren't we, darling?
We certainly are, babe. We certainly are.
So thank you for listening to the show, and until next time, stay healthy. Bye.
Bye.